Eve paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. I have 169 campaigns to share with you today. I also have a new set of miniatures for my patrons, brought to you by Tordominis. Their current project is this Skull God army of small-scale demons, for which there is already 10 units. Check out their Patreon campaign for updates on those and more, or a little later in this video I'll show you more pictures. Thank you so much to Tordominis for your support and for sharing their previous project, the Eternal Pharaohs, with my patrons. That's right, channel patrons will receive the basic army deal, a $15 value. I'll be showing off both these projects more in the coming weeks, so for now, let's get on with the show. Quick content warning. Some of these campaigns contain pinup style models. Link in the description to a video discussing why that needs a content warning. First up, here are prints of two previous works from channel patron Nom Nom Figures. New models include Alita, Battle Angel, a male Moogle, and Ori and Naru. We Play Games is working on an Asgardian theme for their next release. The new set from Dice Heads includes 8 Animal Folk adventurers and a big boss mounted on a construct. Here's a preview of the Ninja Turtle baddies that 3DXM is working on, as well as a symbiote Spider-Man chibi. Chibi STL has new Wong, Jinx, White Power Ranger, and Gorath chibis this month. New models from Mia K include an alchemy table, monster angler, cockatrice, phoenix, and a work-in-progress altar. I feel like it might need more animal skulls though. Ethan Savage Studios is working on retro fantasy anime figures, with some Ghibli figures planned for the future. From Real Stione, these are apparently characters from that Elden Ring game that everyone is talking about. This is Modern Day Survivor Series 19 from Colossal Miniatures, as well as Fantasy Set 19 all painted up. New superheroes from Nuclear Firefly include a classic archer, Dr. Tentacles, and a fangirl. Creature Armory has a new Daredevil sculpt, as well as a cyborg cat lady assassin. Legion Miniatures has 14 new Earth X superheroes. My PokePrints has 7 new sets of articulated Pokemon models, as well as the Golden Snitch Pokeball. Here are some mystery preview helmets from Pop Mini's next set. What could they be? Here's previews of the figures that Doses 3D is working on. This new Lino model is from Prey Collection Studios, as well as work-in-progress shots of Pit and Xanatos. Channel patron C27 Minis and Terrain has 7 new superhumans for you, as well as a couple bits to go with their Spidey, and some pinball-themed terrain. I'm increasingly impressed with the Legion of Orbital Knights that KMFP Designs is making. New heavy armor, HQs, and a walker this month. Channel patron Tordominis has a couple work-in-progress units for their Dragon Dynasty's army, as well as a whole bunch of demons for their new Skull God army. Red Nebular has work in progress picks for Warboys, Mutants, and Street Punks. From Greenskin Miniatures, here are Araby Desert Riders and Knights. Onmyoji made a variety of units for various different armies this month. Here is a free small-scale demon prince from Varus Miniatures, as well as a look at some other little demons they're working on. I really like where Wake's Emporium is going with their small-scale Star Wars armies. This is the first installment of the Reptilian army coming from Forest Dragon, as well as a Lord or Sorceress riding a Manticore for their Dire Elves army. 3DP Miniatures has a new Beekeeper model and a boom mic operator. New minis from Knucklebones includes a Corvid Wizard, gas mask heads, a fodder cannon, and more. Channel patron The Hive has a really nice set of Vanguard droids and drones of all sorts. Wild Mesh has 2 Infernal Mech Guns and a Death Reaper model they're still working on. From Star Pharaoh Foundry, this is a Deconstructor Scarab. Holly Grimm has a whole gang of female Underhivers this month. From Crucible of Games, these are Hell's Harlots, a Halberd strategic bomber, and a whole bunch more. From Fantasy Cult Miniatures, these are the Devourers. Here's a peek at the Space Elves that Imperatum Art is working on. Rageous Creations is currently working out the details of the legs for their Battle Nun Walker. Here are some work in progress shots of flyers and warp gates from Edge Miniatures. 2 new units from Station Forge, Scavenger Runners, and Grimguard Support Troops. The new sci-fi set from channel patron Papsicels is Dropship Troopers 3, the Ugok Rebellion, and there are some great mercenaries, mechs, and aliens in their cyberpunk sets. Atlan Forge has a new Egyptian Shield Guard set, as well as a Manus Mortis Harvester Dreadnought, and a peek at what comes next. The Maker's Cult has new Dark Techno Infantrix Rovers and Decobots Infantry, as well as a few models from guest artist Puppets War Miniatures. One Page Rules has initial previews up for their new Saurian army, as well as the last wave of Eternal Dynasties, a new dragon, new spaceships, and more. This is The Nameless Man from Epic Adventure Miniatures. Extra Guy has 6 new service droids and mobile platforms to go along with their Mech Repair Bay theme. The Huntress Tank is the first April model from the Lalanian Industrial Complex. Matt Mason has a Javelin mech for Battletech. This is the Sierra War Mech from Polygon Masterworks. Rocket Pig Games has a Clockwork Triceratops and Terror Bird, as well as a couple fleshier beasts coming soon. Maddox has new multi-part enforcers on speeder bikes, as well as giant warbeast mechs in collaboration with Studio DR. There's a lot of vehicles and mechs parked outside of Gearguts' mech shop this month. The Island of Dr. Maneater from Cyberforge Miniatures includes mutants, laser beasts, and a few folk just trying to survive, as well as a couple mechs for good measure. New supply trucks, missile tank turrets, and AA turrets for the Concordian Starborn by Golden Dragon Games. Bob Naismith has 4 hotshots this month, as well as 4 vehicles, ground, air, and space. Two Gargoyle Studio has previews up of a new ground attack aircraft, and a bit of a return to fantasy. The Rebel Base Build is putting together a Millennium Falcon Lounge playset. Turn-Based Miniatures is working on new soldiers and tanks this month. Channel patron Kyoshu Neko Miniatures has new bikes and trikes for their German Dieselpunk army. Print Minis has a pretty nice modular garage set this month. Here are 3 new build examples of the Beta Pattern Attack Cruiser from Soul Forge Studios. Arch Globus has new Narga Stormtroopers this month. Reconade has new Sunflower Marine legs to go with the torsos I showed you last video. Ivan has new infantry squads for humans and the race of turtles. Print, Paint, and Play has 2 squads of Sci Fi soldiers, as well as 2 species of alien creatures. These Nexu and Jotaz are 2 of the 3 species of beast that Faux Figures is planning for April. The cute little critters from Zombie Smith Miniatures this month are all robotic in nature. Here are more Bloodlords from Valkyrie's Playground, including a Gorgon War Chariot, Assault Marines, and more. This is a set of Ancient Invader bases and bits from Admiral Apocalypse Miniatures. Mecha Miniatures has a big Champa weapons platform, an orc in mega armor, and several objective markers. Channel patron Lost Heresy has a couple previews up for Service Droids and Station Serfs. Here are more work-in-progress characters from Studio DR, as well as Warbeast Enforcers in collaboration with Maddox. Here's a set of rock formation terrain from Hokusa 3D Designs. This new survivor from Vault Z is named Scott Ward, with 3 of his former army buddies on the right. This new unit from Niverdale Tabletop is called the Midnight Sisters. Sable Badger has a set of trench barricades and a set of spikes for your Gaslands vehicles. Albino Raven Miniatures has a couple sets of modular female soldiers. The next set coming from Battle Yak Miniatures is the Boltagon Singularity. Here's all the modular parts for the boys I showed you last vid, as well as a Rockstar Boy from Mr. Modulork. Here are 3 new Mutant Archers from Imitation of Life Miniatures, as well as a Pyro Mutant. Big Mr. Tong has Mon Calamari's ship crew, Space Prospectors, and Zed and his Brutal Exterminators. Black Remnant has a new Ronto Beast with Jawas, as well as officers, characters, and a squad of soldiers. Here are more modular parts for the G.I. Joes that Monstrous Encounters is working on. Here's a preview of the orcs that Black Craig Miniatures is working on for April. Here's a work in progress shot of Johnny Silverhand, the male pinup model that Ritual Casting is working on. Skullforge Studios has new Rise of the Sovereign Order troopers, as well as pig-faced orcs and Oasis Imperium models. Anvil Digital Forge has added a few new options to complete their March Alien Mercenaries pack. Guardian's Destiny has a new Ogre Champion and 2 new Ogre Townsfolk. These 2 adventurers from Uncanny Minis are named Gleeful Sting and Tristram Deathbringer. Miniatures Blueprint has Robot Samurai and a Ninja Frog. Blue Wyvern is working on Tieflings for a secretive group known as the Order of Shadow Knights. Your Neighbor Knight Minis has 3 new Town Guardsmen and a Battle Cleric. The Mont Blanc Escapade from Collective Studio includes a number of adventurers and undead, as well as a bit of terrain. Claudio Cassini has 3 new female adventurers, 2 of them available in alternate races. Beast Mode Miniatures has 3 new adventurers, a Tabaxi, Centaur, and a Lionkin. Dragon's Lake Miniatures has new units of Caimans and other Saurian Ancients. Goonmaster Games has Hedgehog Crossbows and Spearmen, as well as Hedgehog Corgi Cavalry. From their Fallen Beasts collection, this is Clay Beast Creations Horned Brutes, with a Warlord and a massive herd Behemoth. Here's a peek at the Platypeople that Cobra Mode is working on for April. Here's the complete collection of Dragonfolk Adventurers from Manuel Boria. Galad Miniatures has previews up for a couple adventurers and a few Skelly archers. Twin Goddess Miniatures is working on Monster Girls for April. Bright Minis has a couple martial arts masters, as well as several town guards and a barmaid. The Misadventurers from Broken Anvil Monthly include some fun character models, eye tyrants, pig-faced orcs, and more. The School of Magic is the new set from Highlands Miniatures. The first two previews have wizards from 8 Houses of Magic. Epic Miniatures' first April set is Guild of Thieves, with rogues and ne'er-do-wells, and some folks they meet along the way. Their second set for the month is titled Deadly Sins, and is demon and fiend themed. MZ4250 has 6 new Draconians, some St. Paddy's models, patron requests, a Bone Dragon, and 2 Dragonborn. The Hillhammer Dwarves from Titan Forge Miniatures are pretty great, and the new options for their Titans of Adventure are pretty cool too. But in addition, they've also started a Mortal Enemies line to oppose the Titans. The April set from Archvillain Games is Nature's Wrath, Janir Ancients, including Elementals, Druids, Trolls, and more, as well as 3 new adventurers for their Archvillain Society collection. The completed Kobold set from channel patron Sculptor's Cave includes 9 kobolds and 1 giant ice spider. B Team Minis has a collection of free demons and creatures this week. Awkward Penguins Minis has a free Fey Rat for everyone. Stormcrow has 2 new 2nd edition monsters and 1 more Magic the Gathering beast. These are Bunny Ips from Maps and Monsters. From Realm of Paths, here are 2 Dark Breed Demons. WTH Studios has some Gnome Mind Flayers and a Wendigo. The latest set of minis from the Portal of Morrow are all demons, dogs, girls, and pig-faced guardians. This is a Ghostling with an axe from 3DS of San. Here is a Minotaur and the first soldiers of a new Imperial army from Empire Miniatures. Printed Encounter has a set of kobolds out this month. August McDaniel has 3 new creatures, a Bullywug, a Drider, and a Zorn, all with free download links. Crosslances has 3 new kobolds for you. Here's a teaser image for the Denizens of Riley set, coming from Void Realm Minis. Schlossbauer has 6 new beasts, all with strange monster names. Duncan Shadow has new Plague Demons, heads and accessories for the cultists I showed you last time, as well as pre-posed and multi-part Greek-style Storm Knights. The latest model from Printed Obsession is the Lady of Pox in both human and true forms. Yusashi Kyojin Studio has finished up their Gibbering Mouther and has begun experimenting with doppelgangers. Channel patron C27 Minis and Terrain has also added a new artist and is forging ahead with fantasy-themed minis this month. Ancient Spirit of Evil is the April set from Crippled God Foundry, with a couple adventurers against an army of Egyptian-themed undead. Bestiara Miniatures is working on Calden Keep Part 2 for their April release. Ogoreg Miniatures has variations on Eye Tyrants, as well as a bust of Geralt of Rivia. Mini Basing has new cactus, rock, and bone bits for basing and terrain. Lost Hobbyist Miniatures has a set of modular Skelly Pirates, with some more monopose ones and additional fantasy football ones coming later. This is a mech ogre and a dwarf statue from the Surreal Factory. Ernest Nemirovsky has a model of a female tribal archer. This is Valadora, Queen of the Undergrowth, a preview of the forest-themed minis coming from Spirit of Resin in April. The new city from Dadi Dungeon and Intorni is to be named Salmistia and is inspired by Venice. Reiko Vendetta Studio has some angry-looking orcs, a halfling fantasy football team, and Zardos, the Soul Reaper. This is a Reaver Chariot from Hollow Miniatures. Savant 3D has a set of Orc Invasion terrain with huts, palisades, siege towers, and more. Ratman Forge has a new Vampire Lord on an undead bat. The Black Lord is one of the 2 planned statues from Arcanum Workshop this month, the other being the Black Rider. From Magori Miniatures, here is a unit of Dwarven Pirates, including a captain with a peg leg and a hook hand. These are 3 Knight Cult followers with maces from Legend Builds. From Dragon's Forge Miniatures, these are the Excruciarch Clerics of the Ebon Rack Pit. Tiny Furniture Digital has a work-in-progress shot of a medieval kitchen they're working on. Labyrinth Models has new Corsairs, Witch, and Battle Crab for their Sea Elves army, as well as 6 members of the Magitech Empire. Here are previews of a Water Genie and Fire Myrmidon, coming soon from Warp Miniatures. Ilhadiel has 4 new units for their Bork army, including a Giant, Bruiser, Big Boss, and one riding a Wyvern. Mythbowl RN Studio has a Rat Ogre to add to your fantasy football teams. Epics and Stuffs has finished up their Wandering Dragon, as well as some Shroomies, a Nightmare, and a Bust. Tiger Skull RPG has a few Titanic new statues and work in progress picks this week. Kurzluck Miniatures has an army of Teethy Goblins, including War Drummers and the Goblin King. Here's a work-in-progress Shield Maiden from Dinamu 3D. Here are all the soldiers, bullywugs, busts, and more from Titan Troll Miniatures this month. Here's a tribe of Draconic Magma Smiths from Fleshcraft Studio. Flesh of Gods Miniatures has elves and other forest creatures, as well as a couple of busts. Ronin Arts Workshop has a new pinup to go with the 2 fantasy football players I showed you last video. Here's a work-in-progress Dwarven Army from channel patron Kyoshu Neko Miniatures. Davale Games has several new units of Wood Elves, as well as some regular Snake Warriors. Vevictus Miniatures is working on modular and pre-built town guards this month. New models from Comet Lord Miniatures include a Lich Priest and his Undead Knight, as well as a Valkyrie, a Ranger, and Fenris, the Cinder Wolf. Last Sword Miniatures has a new set of High Kingdom Cannoneers, as well as some new War of Ashes content they're working on. Gamescape 3D has new Ruined Houses and a medieval paper factory set. The Dawn of Heresy is the March release from Great Grimoire, with evil-looking cultists, knights, and more, as well as a peek at something a little scarier still. Here are 3 new houses from the Spanish Quarter of Tortuga by Dark Realms. Asgard Rising has a full cemetery in their March set, Graveyard Volume 2. Avatars of War have 4 new legendary ogres for you this month. This is Higambana, the Venomous Geisha, from Bite the Bullet. Here is a teaser of Mini Monster Mayhem's April release, Everlasting Shadow, Underdark. Lord of the Print is working on an army of Kenku and dinosaurs for their April release. These are the Dwarven Mountaineers of Skootgard from Artisan Guild, including warriors and cavalry with optional masks, heroes, bits, a beast, and more. That's all for now. Huge thanks to all my patrons on Patreon. Your support really means a lot to me. Check back soon for another Kickstarter countdown. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos, and thanks for watching.